This is Smart 24. Welcome to Financial Markets with me, Julius Subuga, and this is where we give you the best of business broadcasting. It's just always about driving business, and this is where we give you the latest information and also financial news, both locally and globally. And basically, there's a lot happening in the world of finance and also the stock market, and there is so much to basically explore today as we drive along the lines of the financial markets and also the globe. So just join me right here as we get started right onto the screen. And so, let's start with what is happening locally. What is happening locally, it's quite interesting that consumer prices rise at faster pace in 20 months. And that is basically what is happening right now. Based on the Uganda Business News site, that is what probably they are reporting right now. So it's quite interesting to note that the consumer prices rise at faster pace in 20 months. And this is something that probably we are having a closer look at, because at the end of the day, you and I are basically affected in some way or another. And just going down up a bit here, Uganda consumer prices jumped in February at the fastest pace in 20 months as economic activity picked up, following the lifting of almost all pandemic measures and the reopening of the hospitality and the education sectors. And probably that is why we see that kind of upward trend. It is also important to note that there is much economic activity going on right now as we speak, and that's probably why we are seeing the consumer prices going up, and that is quite something that we should note. So since the hospitality sector and the tourism sectors are now basically open and the entire economy going through a new phase of economic activity vis-a-vis what happened last year pre-lockdown levels and also times, now we see that there is some bit of activity going on here and there. So we have the consumer prices rising at fastest pace in the last 20 months, and that is very much evident because of what is happening right now as we get into post-pandemic times. So right now, let's now get into what is also happening elsewhere, and my colleague Amoriat will help me do that. But just recall that Financial Markets comes to you Monday to Friday, 10 to midday, and then my colleague comes up with the Trading Dawn about Forex, that is Marcelino. So he always comes up after midday, and probably we have a deeper insight of Forex. While here we bring you the latest information and news highlights in the world of finance, banking, the stock market, both locally and also globally. And we shall continue to do that every single day. And this will help you make the best of financial and business decisions at all times. So it is something that will be exciting, and I look forward to having and walking this journey with you. So turning down to Kenya, Kenya's inflation rate declines to 5.1% in February despite increase in food prices. And a lot is happening also in Kenya, and many of you are basically trading in Kenya. So this has a very good impact also on our economy, and keeping other factors constant, of course. So that means that probably there is what we call imported inflation. So when we actually bring goods in from other countries, when we import goods from other countries facing high inflation, it means we are also importing we are importing inflation. And so this is a very good indicator that probably in the next few months we could have a very good a very healthy working relationship in terms of exports and imports with Kenya. Thus because of their inflation rate declining to 5.1% in February. Well, this is quite something very interesting and amazing. Well, the other news is that M-Kopa, a fintech firm in Nairobi, just basically raised about 75 million US dollars. And when I talk about Kenya, Kenya is one of the one of the top tech hubs in Africa, and that is why it is called the Silicon Savannah, because it is the Silicon Valley of Africa, and thus called the Silicon Savannah. So there's a lot of exciting things happening also in Kenya, and we can see that, well, it is really becoming a very active economic powerhouse on the African continent. And there's no doubt that probably we shall see this actually going up and up. So it is quite very much interesting. And well, if you look at also other news from Kenya, well, Kenya's exports to grow over 1.1 trillion Kenyan shillings by 2030. Just multiply that times 30. So we can say about by about 33.3. So that is 33.3 trillion Ugandan shillings. So I think this is quite something, and we are yet to see more coming from Kenya. And well, it is also very much interesting to know that M-Kopa was a startup based from Nairobi, but has grown over time and has gone through different rounds of funding and also growth. And where it is right now, it is solving problems for many households. And now, having hit 2 million users, M-Kopa is raising more funds. So you can see the power of innovation and the power of entrepreneurship on the African continent. So when we talk about driving wealth and business, this is what we are meaning by wealth creation. So youth today are very much interested in such innovations and tech, and I believe that this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. In spite of the challenges that we still face in the entrepreneur ecosystem today, we can see that changing sometime soon. So, well, that is basically it with what is happening in Kenya. But one more thing, here we note that the Nairobi Securities Exchange daily equity turnover declines 4%. Well, that is quite something to note as well. So, well, the Nairobi Securities Exchange daily equity turnover declines 4%. That's quite something to note. And, well, I think as the global stock market is going through one of those times you would call one of the highest volatility times for the stock market because of the global events happening around, just around the world. So basically you can see the effects of these global events and also local events and how they can affect the economy at large. And so, well, this is it with what is happening over there in Kenya. But so we're here to see a lot and a lot more coming from that side. And of course, Africa as a whole, we see Nigeria having a very high turnover of startups. Startups are basically coming in each and every time, and innovation is increasingly becoming a very common phenomenon on the African continent, including in Rwanda. Even when you go down in South Africa, even when you go up in Egypt, it's just entrepreneurs down there doing things and making things happen. And this at all times will always reflect on our economy and also on our financial industry, which I think is a very good thing for Africa as a whole. So you can always basically watch us from wherever you are, and you will be getting the latest of news right from Uganda to Kenya and to Nigeria and to Egypt and then down to South Africa, and all news coming from, financial news coming from all across the continent. This is where we shall be bringing it to you every single day. So turning now next to more, we can basically now drive into the local stock market, how it is performing, and probably try to gauge where it is right now. So that is the market snapshot, the USE market snapshot coming up, and my colleague, I'm working with my colleague Maria out there, who is basically helping me out with this. But well, now turning to the market snapshot, it is very important to note that the stock market, every single day we mention it, that the stock market of any given country is a very important market to just, you know, to work on every single day, because it is a representation of the entrepreneurial enterprise prowess of any country. And well, in Uganda, while we are still having a very young stock market, it only means that probably we are a developing stock market. And well, but soon we shall see that changing anytime soon, because we're having more entrants and more players joining the stock market of Uganda. And we hope that probably we can see more and more happening. So, well, this is the Uganda Securities Exchange market snapshot. And this is where we have all companies listed, most of the companies listed here. It is the main stock exchange in Uganda, of course, including others. And it has about 16 companies listed. And we saw that, well, it's not been changing much, but well, we're going to have a look at how it's been faring all along. But it is important to know that this is only a snapshot. Yes, this is only a snapshot. And well, you can actually follow this information up probably from any trusted brokers, or probably from the USE website, or probably even just ask around for a few investors who basically know how the game is played here, and probably you can know more about these companies. But even these companies, we have their financials displayed in newspapers, so you can start to follow up if you would wish to invest in Uganda's stock market, or probably in any of these companies, publicly listed companies here in Uganda. So this is the market snapshot. It's changing all the time, and this is only the start of the day. It's published 3 times, and it's published 3 times every single day. And by evening, by closing of day, is the real deal. That's where we know which company has lost, which company has gained. And that is really the gist of the matter here. So let's first go for a very short commercial break, and I'm going to be right back with just looking at every company and how it is performing in terms of its share price, and probably we can basically have a clearer insight. I'll be right back.
Smart 24, driving business.